Welcome everyone. We're gonna give everyone a minute or two to get set up here, and then we'll get started. Just another 30 seconds or so, then we'll get started. Okay, looks like we have a good crowd set up here. Let's kick it off. My name is Pat Flingo from Yale Appliance. We're here today to talk about the five ways to make your kitchen design unique with appliances. Really exciting topic for us. Steve and Manny from our team put a lot of work in preparing this presentation you're about to see. We got a lot of great questions from the registration that we'll dive into. But please use the Q&A feature as we start the presentation, and then we'll have plenty of time for Q&A at the end. And with that, I'll turn it over to Steve.
Thank you, Pat. And thank you for spending time with us this morning. 5 ways to make your kitchen design unique with appliances. A little different from the last one. The last one we were about templates. You know, someone gives you a space, here's how you draw out a kitchen. Here's how you draw out an outside kitchen. How to make your kitchen unique is a little bit different. I think this is a little bit more fun, a little less templated. So let's dive right in, because it's a problem. One second, technical. Okay, when you shop at an appliance store, this is what you see. You see stainless steel, rows and rows of stainless steel. This is what you end up with. This is 90% of the kitchens I researched on House. White cabinets, gray counters, white subway tile, stainless steel appliances, undermount sink, that's good. And then your design element, the box hood with a decorative backsplash. And again, if you want something different, what do you do? So I figured in the beginning, I'll kick us off with something very different that's coming out in May. And I'm gonna end this presentation with probably the best appliance ever manufactured that no one's ever seen. So let's just dive in and just customize this just a little bit. Starting in May, Blue Star will have the ability for you to send high resolution GIFs, and they'll make the fronts on the refrigerators and stoves. So if you love your kid, he or she can be your stove or your refrigerator, something a little different. Now, if you don't want to do your kid, or maybe you got a teenager, you can do artwork. I like these pictures. You know, we're going to get into accents a little bit later in the presentation. You don't have to do stainless steel. You can do brass, copper, the endless amounts, or you can do artwork. So you can make a kitchen a little different. Here's one. Here's your typical white kitchen. You can make, this is a picture of Muhammad Ali. It's made out of butterflies. So there's all sorts of things that you can do differently starting in May. But for right now, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn the proper way how to use color. We'll talk about how to panel and some different techniques. We'll talk about there's a new trend towards exposing your appliances. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into accents. A lot of people just default to the stainless hardware. We're going to show you different options there. I know we're not in the lighting business, but I think lighting a kitchen is important. A lot of people do it wrong. I think it's a way to make your kitchen a little bit unique. So it's colors, panels, glass, accents. In addition, in each section, I'm going to show you what not to do. Some things that are applied that you probably should stay away from. So let's just start with color. Wow, right? This is an older kitchen, you can tell by the undermount sink. Sky blue. Now, in our blog post, we talk about the different ways to apply color. You know, one of our customers was a UT fan, Tennessee. Their color is burnt orange. I don't particularly hate this kitchen. It certainly make the stainless white and gray a little bit different. But there's another way to do it if you're a little gun shy to do this. And we used to have all colored kitchens in here and had to sell them off. But there's another way, is a pop of color. Where'd your eye just go to? Your eye just went to the orange range. Now you could put an orange hood, maybe if the refrigerator is on the other side. On the left, you get a custom tile back. We're not going to talk about plumbing much, but that's a stainless farmer sink with the commercial faucet, a little different than the undermount. Again, everything else is the same. It's the same white and gray. Just add a little pop of color. Here are the best manufacturer to look at if you want to look at color. And there's several. La Cornue is the best. It's French made, American owned. They have 48 colors. You can customize on top of that. And they've got 12 different trims. This is a really interesting company. Their finish work is different. Like you can get a hot pink range and make it gothic with a hammered iron trim. Pretty interesting. But for people that don't want to spend $30,000 to $70,000 on a range, they make a lesser expensive one. 12 colors, 3 trims. It's called the Cornue Face series. It starts at 36 inch. If you want a full line, the best American manufacturing color right now is Blue Star. They have 1,000 colors with the ability to customize in 10 trim packages. So you need to get stainless. They've got endless amounts of combinations, and you'll customize. And starting in May, you can put pictures on there as well. Of course, the company that started the color trend, and you can do this whole line to dishwasher, is Viking. This is their new Rose and Bold. If you turn on the range, it's got red knobs to it. Very interesting. Very interesting, and they were the original. Okay. If you don't want to spend that kind of money and still want a good product, Cafe may have cracked the code. If stainless is number one, then that sheen enamel white would be number two. And they've done something really smart. They take the base color, stainless white and black, and the base trims, which is copper, brass, and stainless steel, made a line out of it that does pretty well. And you'll spend a lot less money. Fisher Paykel's another line. They may look like they're red, white, black, and stainless. Plus their interfaces and controls a little bit different. So even if you get it in stainless, your kitchen's gonna look a little bit different than someone who buys just base stainless steel appliances. A lot of people look to the Italian ranges, Bertazzoni, Ilve, Smeg. They have a number of different colors, much less expensive prices. Problem with these ranges is they kind of lack performance. In the 48-inch range, you only get two 19,000 BTU burners. And then it trumps down to a 10 and then 5,000 BTUs. So you don't get much power, performance, self-cleaning. You know, you have to worry about the service aspect. But if you want a nice looking range at a decent price, those brands will have any number of finishes. And then there's the new line, Heston, from California, no less. They have 12 different colors. They're from, they have their Napa Valley commercial. They were into commercial goods. That range has got a center burner of 30,000 BTUs and 223,000 BTUs and 215. To give you an idea, there's more power in two of their burners than that 48-inch Bertazzoni range I just showed you. So those are the lines. Heston's another full line where you can get all colors as well. So you can really do anything with color. Here's some colors you should never buy. Brown. Now, I mentioned a blog post. You know, we've been around for 80 years. We've tried colors that long. Copper tone, coffee, oil rub, bronze. This is Miela's Truffle Brown. They mercifully discontinued because glass brown and panel brown don't quite match. And so that's why brown never seems to do very well in kitchens. I'd stay away from it. You probably do it in La Cornue and Blue Star, but I would shy away from it. The next one is black stainless steel. And this is not the same as black. We're going to show some black later. I think black is a nice high fashion color. But black stainless steel is a oxide coating on stainless steel. So it's very, very simple to scratch. And it's unrepairable once you scratch it. And I don't know, we scratched every major brand. You see the scratch mark on the Whirlpool, that never goes away. That's what you'll be looking at for the remainder of that life of your appliance in your kitchen. And that's color. Okay, let's just say we don't want to do color. Panelizing is a great option. And I'm going to show you all different kinds of techniques to panel. But you can panel anything but stoves. So that's refrigerator, dishwasher, wine cooler, beverage center. Especially if you've got better cabinets, it's a nice effect to hide your appliances. This is a display we have in Dorchester. All panels on the left-hand side. Bonus on the lighting, you could put toe kick lighting. Just thought I'd mention that. We're gonna get into lighting a little bit later. But everything's hidden on this. You could hide the wine cabinet. We chose to expose it. And this is what it looks like. Now, I want to show you a little detail, right? Flush mounting. I'm going to show you some pictures here of what you might want to do, especially in a newer kitchen. Take a look at that. See how the wall oven doesn't protrude outside the cabinet? It's because we built the cabinet out to 25 inches, so it looks flush to the cabinet. It's a nice little detail. The cooktop we flush mounted as well, but you have to do that in new kitchens with the fabricator. Much harder to do. We do that on, we have installation crews that can do the wall oven. The cooktop is a lot harder. But you can do that with any wall oven. So let's take a look, right? These are integrated refrigerators. Integrated means they're flush, 24 inches. They're flush to the 24-inch depth, okay? Now, they didn't do the wall oven. But here's a trick you can do with counter depth refrigerators. That refrigerator is not integrated. It's actually 27 inches deep. So you see what they did there is they built the cabinet up. So it looks flush, right? You would never know looking at that kitchen. What they could have done on the right-hand side on the wall oven, they could have flushed, they could have extended that out another 1.5 inches and had a nice flush mounted wall oven. It's a great effect. And now that you know it, you'll definitely do it. You'll definitely see it. So just a little thing with panels, you can really take it to the next kind of level. Here's something you should never do. I love American Dishwasher's KitchenAid. It's one of my personal favorites, but it sticks out. It sticks out another 1.5 inches. So KitchenAid G, Whirlpool, the ones that can be panelized, you want to stay away from. What you want to do is buy the Miele, Bosch, Beko, Asco, because it sits flush and looks like the cabinet. Now, we highlighted the dishwasher panel, but it should look like the panel on the left and right under normal circumstances. Okay, here's the new trend. The commercial trend is they want to see into their appliances, and you can do that with a lot of different companies. This is our Hanover display. This is true. You can do it with Gaggenau Thermal with their wine coolers, but True does it the best. We're showing a lot of different things, different trimming, exposure, the white color. New England, right? With the brass accents. That's actually a wine column, a beverage column, and a refrigerator, right? You can see into it. Here's what it looks like in color. If you want to color in a bar, yellow, oil rub bronze faucet, nice. And you can do this in every beverage cooler. And you can, on most of the beverage coolers, you can panel around and expose it too. And add that as another element in your kitchen. Well, here are the lines that'll do it. I already showed you True. Sub-Zero does it with any number of refrigerators. But if you don't want to spend the money for a True or a Sub-Zero, a company that does it surprisingly well is LG. This is the InstaView. She's not beating on the refrigerator. If you knock on it twice, it darkens. If you tap it again twice, you see inside the refrigerator. They have a number of different French door and 4-door styles on the right-hand side there. It's a good way if you want to add that element in. It's the only brand that really does it kind of affordable luxury style where you're not spending a lot of money. Okay, so let's just say you're going to do a white and you're still going to do a white gray kitchen with some stainless accents. What you can do is you can do accents. Now, we're in also the kitchen plumbing business. This is a Waterstone water wheel because it looks like a water wheel. It's a black and polished brass faucet. something a little bit different. I'm going to show you some pictures of that. Now, the brands that can do the accents are obviously the ones that I showed you. Blue Star, True, La Cornue does it really well. G Cafe with brass and copper does it well at a less expensive price. But really the good opportunity here is adding it as a hardware element. When we look at this, this obviously isn't a kitchen because you typically wouldn't put books over a 100,000 BTU range. But see how they added the brass? Now we're gonna get into lighting in a little bit second. They added the brass here and the brass hardware. Most people go with the hardware that's stainless steel and the faucets are stainless steel just because. But you can add elements. There's like 39 different faucet shades and endless amounts of hardware. We don't sell hardware really lighting anymore, but it's a great opportunity to make your kitchen unique. This is what a white kitchen looks like with accents of polished brass. You know, even the faucet, that's an English bronze faucet because you can, if you want, mix metals as well. They actually have two different colored faucets on either side. But everything's nicely matched with the hardware being polished brass, fixtures being polished brass, and then they added an English bronze. My sister loves oil rubbed bronze. She flips houses for a living. She uses oil rub bronze to darken everything. That's on the right-hand side. That's not hers. So yeah, what they could have done on now that I mention it, on the microwave drawer, they could have flush mount that. It looks a little different. But you can add all sorts of elements to make your kitchen unique. We're still using stainless steel, still using your white and your gray kind of cabinetry if you want to. This is another picture of, I don't know, I must like brass because brass is so New England to me. You got brass, white, exposed, adding a different element and style in your kitchen. Okay, how to light your kitchen. And I drew this up because when I used to take questions on the blog, it's always like how many pendants go over an island. And my answer is it really doesn't much matter because the pendants aren't lighting it. And when you get pushback from that, I'd say, okay, if you want the pendants to light it, what happens when you turn your back to the pendant? You're going to cast a shadow on your chopping area and your stove, so you're not going to have everything lit. Here's how to light your kitchen. There are 4 elements, right? Task lighting is task lighting is really recessed and or track. There's some nice designer track options. That's the skeleton. That's really what lights it. I would say under cabinet lighting, because it's so inexpensive, I would put it really anywhere. Under the cabinets, you can put it in the toe kicks. I showed you a picture of that. I would even put it on top of the cabinets as well, because that provides the ambient light, the part that lights the ceiling. The decorative is the fixtures over it. You know, under cabinet has a number of different applications: accent, ambient, and task lighting. You can turn it on or just leave it on as an accent at night when you go to bed. Okay, more task lighting, recessed. Hood is task lighting under cabinet. This is decorative, not really. We're adding stainless into a stainless white kitchen. And then your ambient is uplight. Don't forget that part. It's easy to do over your cabinets. You know, some of the chandeliers can provide light on the ceiling as well. Glass cabinets, great to light. This is kind of an old picture because they put puck lighting into it. What I would do is put lights on either side to cross illuminate and really give you a much more homogeneous light. So here's some fun appliances for you to start. I don't have permission to use the Patriots logo and either this Blue Star, but I thought it was the Blue Star by Design is a really good concept in May. I said if you want your significant other, they're a sports fan, you want them in your kitchen, put their favorite team logo. If you don't, put their arch rival, which you can do hopefully sometime this year. This one I love. You can put a TV in your hood. And the way you do that, and I think ventilation, and I didn't really touch upon it, is a great way to make it unique because there's so many different hood styles. That's a wood hood. And what you do is you put a shallow liner and blower in so you could fit a flat screen TV in there. So instead of having the TV and the hardware, if you've got windows on the other side, that's my sister's kitchen. She wanted the window, she didn't want an exposure. You can put a TV in your hood. I love that idea. Or ventilation. The most unique built-in appliance sold is, without question, is Gaggenau. They have that industrial grade stainless steel. Everybody else kind of looks stainless and black. Theirs is a little bit different. I don't know why I like this so much. Beverage and wine in the same 24-inch cabinet. And last but not least, the single best appliance ever made that no one talks about. This is the La Cornue Chateau Supreme. What I like about it is that it's got so many good elements to it. It's got the faucet handle, you know, the deco backsplash, not backsplash, the toe kick, sorry. It's got those elements, got storage, gas, electric, you can customize the top. But I was just thinking, you know, the reason why so many people get the same look in the kitchen is I think we're all looking in the wrong place for inspiration. You're probably not going to buy a True or La Cornue, but those are great kind of resources to take a look and see what is possible. I know a lot of people use House and everything, but those are two resources, and the designers behind them do a really good job of putting environments together that you wouldn't think. You could do this and maybe put a cafe or Fisher Paykel in to really value engineer it to be more reasonable. So that's where we're going to end. And here are your takeaways. There's endless ways to do color, and there's more choices than ever. You can do a whole kitchen of color, but if you're gun shy and you still want something unique, put a pop of color in. Stove's a great place because that's a central part of your kitchen. Refrigerator's not bad, hood. And remember, you can hide almost anything now except a wall oven. The new thing to expose, if you're putting a wine cooler in, put an exposure in, put a glass element in there. You do not have to buy stainless hardware. There's 39 different faucet selections. Last I saw, there's endless amounts of hardware. And lastly, the lighting plan, we don't sell lighting, but I'm telling you, lighting is, you can really personalize it with some great fixtures. You know, on the Q&A, if you want some really good lines, I can give you. And with that, I'm going to say thank you. This is seminars are community work. Manny Gonzalez did everything on this PowerPoint except for the line that said he did this PowerPoint. I put that in there. Manny's in charge of training. Every new person has to run through Manny. Everybody who's been here has to train with Manny. If you've been to a Cumberland Farms and had sushi, he was behind that. You know, he did 13 years of Procter & Gamble working with their shavers. Pat is, as well as a friend's been here for 16 years. He does everything marketing. He's in charge of the marketing arm here at Yale. And that's not me. That is my kid, believe it or not. Manny's stud. She's a lot cuter than me. I would have to agree. And that's it. I want to leave you with you know, I came in this morning. Manny always leaves me a surprise. This is a surprisingly interesting kitchen. I would have guessed wrapper, and I would have guessed right. That's Drake's kitchen. He's got the refrigerator on the left. It's the one of 5 Chateau Supremes ever sold. Full Miele coffee, steam, and microwave on the right-hand side. He's got blue elements in there, white elements in there. Looks good. So thank you. And I will open it up for questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, please use the Q&A feature to let us know any questions that come up. Steve, we'll call back right to that range hood with the TV inside. The first question was, does the TV get greasy?
Not according to my sister, because she put a lip on there. She put a lip on the hood, because that's what I asked her. I go, doesn't it get greasy? According to her, no. Because here's what she did. I'm just going to run through this real quick. I think that if you flatten it out and you put a pro style gas range, it would get greasy. But I think that she lipped it And I think if you cook on the back burners, I mean, her kids are gone. So I'm wondering how much she actually does cook, although she does cook. Let me just show you real quick. Sorry, I don't know how I X'd out of this.
Good.
Yeah, see the lip on the side? She did that thinking she would. And she kind of inlet the television. So according to her, it has not got greasy yet. It's been a couple years.
Cool. Another one, calling back to the presentation, who makes the side-by-side beverage center with wine and beverage?
We actually bring that in ourselves. I think there are other lines. You know, ours, we have a 5-year warranty. We bring it in directly from the manufacturer. But there's endless. I think Amazon sells them. But the one thing about under-counter refrigeration, there's all kinds of levels. And we want to make sure that it breathes from the front, because if you enclose it and breathes from the back, it's going to burn out. So you want to make sure it's compact, not freestanding. Make sure the compressor's on the front. Ours is a little bit better. We get a 5-year warranty. You know, Dennis, you know, has some touch features to it, but there's a number of different lines. Ours is, I think, I don't know, like $17.99 or something like that.
Next up, you mentioned black stainless for appliances. Is black stainless okay for sinks?
It depends on what it is. If it's a coating, then no, it's not a good. What's surprising is I actually did a video of black stainless, which got some notoriety because I actually scratched the front of these refrigerators, depreciating $25,000 at the French store to like 10 to prove a point, a rather expensive point. But it's shocking how easy it was to scratch. So that's not something I recommend. Now, if it's baked on like enamel, but even if it's enamel, the problem with enamel is once you cut into enamel, you get the underneath. There's some sink surfaces that are like Shaw makes that have composite that is more of that material underneath it. So you really got to be careful. Like I almost going to show them and take a key and see if it scratches. If it scratches and there's more black underneath it, then you're okay. But if it's black stainless steel, you're really not okay. That's like the worst place to put it, especially in my house, the 4-year-old. You know, she'll make that thing scratch in about 2 seconds.
Hey, a couple of questions about cafe. How reliable are cafe? And I'll throw both of these together because they're similar. How reliable are cafe? And we carry the cafe series. Do we carry monogram?
We do carry cafe. Its reliability is good when you consider there's a lot going on with a cafe. When we sell a cafe, it's got everything. It's got the coffee maker on the fridge. It's got the double oven range. It's got induction. So I would say I'd say G in particular has become a lot better because Haier, the Chinese company, actually invested in it. When it was regular G never invested anything in it. All they invested in it was try to sell it for like, it was on the block for like 10 years. So they really didn't invest in it the way Haier has. I would say for a premium brand, an affordable luxury brand, it's pretty reliable, given that it's in kind of the French door, which is a troublesome category for repair. Induction ranges, you know, you got to put a 50 amp line. If you know, you're going to get a spike and it's gonna sizzle the induction elements to it. So I think it's a pretty good line. We don't sell monogram because in our view, we sell 5 premium lines. There's nothing unique enough for us to take monogram at all. And we and that's nothing against monogram. I'm sure it's good enough stuff, but we have to service what we sell. So I can't, you know, there are a lot of companies that sell everything, 120 appliance lines. We could never do that. We have to curate and pick it because most of our business is actually service, not sales. You know, on a random day, we'll have 350 house visits. You know, 180 of those are service, 50 are install, and the rest are regular appliance deliveries. So we can never just go and invest in every line. We can't do it.
Next up, will the Thermador dishwasher with a panel be flush with the
Yes.
cabinets?
The Thermador is a Bosch, really. Good question. It's made in the Bosch factory. Funny enough, is they Bosch is having some real availability problems. I didn't get into availability much, but it's a real problem between parts companies, container problems, shipping problems, the Port of Los Angeles being backed up for miles. Thermador actually didn't make their most interesting dishwasher, the Star Speed that actually washes and dries in 20 minutes. Can't get it. They don't make it. They make the basic ones that they give away for free, which are just basic Bosches. But that will sit flush.
Is there a line of under cabinet lighting that is thick enough to sit flush with the bottom of the cabinet?
Well, you can always do tape, right? Tape is just the diodes, right? The problem with diodes is, there's other things with lighting. You might want to write this stuff down. You want between 25 and 3000 Kelvin for, you want your lights yellowish to, when you say white, sunlight's like 5000 Kelvin, fluorescence like 6000 Kelvin. You want like 2500 to 3000 Kelvin. But with, you could do any kind of tape. The problem with tape is you see on some of them, the diodes, when you have like a real nice piece of marble. So you may want to cover that, you get a covering. The lighting line that I like the most, and this is my sister's kitchen, right? The lighting line I like the most for under cabinet is Legrand, because you could do so much with it. You could put, iPad chargers and, put your recipes up and, really do a nice customized lighting and they have all sorts of accessories. But the other thing is, one of the things that I didn't talk about is switches. These switches, as much as I love my sister, these have been around since the 50s. You could buy really nice switches for not a lot of money. Legrand has got great switches where you can customize the panels. The other thing is, why have them, right? You can mount all that stuff underneath in your Legrand system. You can mount sockets and lights and everything else and not have that as a detail in your backsplash. That's something I would definitely do. Just look at Legrand lighting, go on the website. There's all kinds of little touch things like that just kind of make things a little bit more unique.
Keep those questions coming in. We have a bunch to get through. We'll,
by the way, I didn't mention, because I flipped to the last slide. If we've inspired you in any way to do something other than what's expected of you, which is, white, stainless, and gray, it'd be great if you send us a picture of what your kitchen looks like. You can send it to me. I'm Steve.Shinekoff at Yale Appliance, Pat, Manny. We'd love to see it. I really would. We do a before and after. You could do that. It'd be great.
Great, good point, Steve. Next up, one dishwasher versus two dishwashers. What are the pros and cons?
Well, are we talking about the double drawer dishwasher or two different dishwashers?
We'll see if they.
I'll do it both ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
The double draw dishwasher, the Fisher Bake-Hell, that didn't make the last cut of unique appliances. Because I happen to like it, because I happen to like drawers, because you don't have to bend as much as you would for a side drawer, but you have to learn how to actually load that dishwasher. And people either like it or hate it. And the best thing I always encourage people, when I was selling here eons ago, is bring your plates in. Everyone always talks about their plate. Well, you never know until you know. And bring the plate in, see if you like loading. But some people like it, some people don't. Okay. As far as two dishwashers are concerned, how much entertaining do you do? Is it a kosher kitchen? Because you can't, in a kosher kitchen, you can't mix the meat and kind of like the dairy dishes, although you could probably buy extra baskets for that. But I think the question was for double drawers. And the answer is I happen to like them, especially if you don't use your dishwasher all that much for load after load, as it were. If you can use the half load, then you never really have to bend for your dishes. Some people just don't like the way it loads. So it's something that you have to investigate almost in person with dishes to understand.
And then 18-inch dishwashers. What
I
are the
love
pros and
18-inch
cons?
dishwashers. We did something on small kitchens where do you draw the line? Like you got a small space, what's the first appliance you cut? And in my opinion, it's the 24-inch dishwasher to an 18-inch dishwasher. First, there's some great brands that sell 18. Miele, Bosch, Beko, fantastic. And you don't lose that much usable capacity. You can panelize them, you can make them stainless, you get great features with all of them, and you don't lose that much. When you go to from a 30 to a 24-inch oven, you lose a lot. Same thing with fridge, right? But an 18-inch dishwasher can hold almost as much as a 24, same features. And that's the way I would go. Either, butler's pantry or second dishwasher, or if you're doing like a small kind of galley kitchen and you want a dishwasher, and I don't think the countertops do all that well, and I think portables are kind of a pain to tote around, I think an 18-inch dishwasher is a great idea.
Next up, in preparing for a full kitchen renovation, at what stage would you suggest ordering the appliances? Given
That's a
the
great
long
question.
lead times, maybe Thermador in particular.
That's really a great question because we're going to have problems getting stuff, and we do have problems. I wrote a blog post about it. You can read about it, and I asked, I asked about the guy who runs Miele, one of the guys that runs Bosch, and the guy who runs Jennifer for the country. And all of them say the same thing: parts. Now we've got container issues, we've got port issues. But, COVID's just, when I was a kid, your Maytag washer was built, designed with parts in Newton, Iowa. That's what it was. Now you take that same dishwasher, it's designed somewhere, manufactured aligned somewhere else with parts from like endless amounts of places. If one of those places is out, as one of them said, if we've got, if there's 84 parts to make a dishwasher, we got 81, we can't ship that dishwasher. So I would say, before COVID, I would say a month was good. 2 months was fine. But you're going to wait probably 3 to 4 months for your cabinets. I would say you should think to buy appliances sooner than later. I would say buy them with your cabinets and just put it to bed and make sure that people order it. Because the problem, a lot of appliance dealers don't have warehouses to hold this stuff either. So that's another kind of thing that you got to worry about. So
Next up, what are your thoughts on mixing appliance brands in a kitchen?
Well, if you're panelized, it really doesn't much matter, right? If you're not panelizing, first of all, I believe you should get the best of what suits you, whatever that is. And no one line has got the best of everything. So if you're going to do a stainless kitchen, just understand that the handles don't match. The grains of stainless might not match. And the further away they are, the less of a problem that becomes. I think that if you're doing affordable luxury, I think they should match. You get rebates. And quite honestly, there's so very little different distinction between them. I think it's good to match the looks. If you're doing real luxury, or you're panelizing, because you can do affordable luxury and panelizing, and it really doesn't much matter. So it really depends what we're talking about. Luxury doesn't matter. Panelizing doesn't matter. Affordable luxury, you get rebates and it kind of coordinates the look. And in a smaller kitchen, it does kind of matter, but that's a subjective question. That's what I would do.
Next up, we're having a hard time choosing a 24-inch single wall oven based on reliability and price. Wanted the 16 function Fisher and Paykel. But might be too hard to get and hard to service. What are your thoughts on an option?
God, I should have been more prepared for this. Seeing we just did a how to buy a wall. 24-inch gas wall ovens are hard. 24-inch electric wall ovens are hard. Do you have to go with gas? The best company we've ever carried stopped importing into this country years ago. It's called a British company called Stoves of America. They made a nice 24-inch gas wall oven. And I think gas, I don't know why manufacturers don't make it. I mean, gas is a great fuel source. It's moister. It's better for roasting and boiling. Everyone always touts electric. Electric's better for baking, but if you like to roast or broil, you're better off with gas. The truth of the matter is there's really nothing good out there in 24-inch that in gas that doesn't fit in that. You know, you get those GEs that are made to go in the old kind of homes. I wouldn't call those a decorator option. Some of the European brands may have them, but I'm not sure what's being imported in. Off the top of my head, stoves, Creta. There's a company called AEG that we used to carry years ago. If you want, leave your email address. I can do some more research for you, but 24-inch gas, you're gonna have a hard time. And Fisher Paykel is a good range only because Haier is the company that owns them. You know, they're Chinese based and they're very serious about appliances. So that's not a bad option if you can get it.
Cool. Next up, how reliable is the Bosch refrigerator? And what are your thoughts on how user-friendly the Bosch speed microwave is?
Just answer the speed oven question just this morning. We're probably talking about the counter depth, the new counter depth Bosches. Their reliability has been pretty good. They have the twin compressor, the metal back, which is nice. You know, metal in a refrigerator comes from the commercial. And the reason why you're seeing more metal is because when you put something against it, metal attracts cold better. Like, you know, like this, you know, I keep this bottle around, it's metal. It keeps cold better in the jug than plastic does. So you're seeing a lot more metal in fridges, and Bosch has it in the back. Its reliability is good. It's, I think it's 16.1% the first year, which is like earth-shattering good for French door. French doors, we have not, as an industry, solved the ice maker. Let's put a ice maker in a refrigerator. You know, let's put an ice cube in a warmer environment. You're going to get some kind of leaking, and that's almost 100% within 5 years. The brand to look at, ironically enough, we did an experiment called Project Produce, and we just thrown a bunch of produce in a refrigerator over 4 weeks. The one that won was a company called Beko. And they have a really unique product because they have the ethylene gas filters and a whole bunch of stuff that actually works in their refrigerator. They do blue lighting because, and I thought that was crazy until it actually worked, because blue lighting mirrors sunlight, which is what you don't put in your kitchen, but that tricks the plant into continued photosynthesis and freshness. It actually works. As far as speed ovens, the speed oven I like the best is Miele because it's easy. All of them are kind of easy, but if we're talking about speed and steam, the Master Chef controls is still the easiest to use. Now we have a chef. If you buy something here, if you get a quote in here, talk to her, she'll talk you through any interface there is. But for someone that wants to just like, you know, do an Apple iPhone, hit this to do that, the Master Chef is still, I still think it's the best interface out there.
Next up, what do you think is the best dishwasher on the market today that can be flush mounted with a cabinet build out if necessary, and that is actually available? And as a follow-up, do you think availability issues will go away once COVID starts to decline? You touched on that a little bit.
You know, it's funny. I was, you know, when I interviewed the president of Meal US, he's like, oh yeah, we'll be out of this like in the third quarter. And I go, third quarter of this year? And then he goes, yeah, as long as the Port of Los Angeles comes through. And then like 3 days later, there was like an expose on how like that is just so messed up. They had COVID and they had the things from Miles and everything else. I just had a chuckle. And now that there's container shortages. So really, you answered your own question. The best dishwasher you can buy is the dishwasher you can get paneled. Now, the two best that you could typically buy when you could get them were the new Miele, their new 7000 series is great. The automatic soap dispenser feature works. It works on laundry and it works on dishwashers. People say it's like the best clean they've ever had. But the dishwasher you can buy now is actually a real, I'm not paid by Blue Star anybody to say anything, I mean, we don't take a dime of sponsorship, but the line that I like the most dishwashers right now, once again, would be Beko. It's 39 dB, it's Wi-Fi, it's got the intense wash, it's got a separate cycle. If you got like a lasagna pan, you put in intense wash, it's got a separate arm that heavily sprays that dish. And I did a little test. I sold it to my my kids when it first came out. My kids' teacher in school, and she said, "I never heard it." I go, "Look, I'm not going to sell you something to look at you every day when you hate it." And she loves it. It's quiet, efficient, and it's under $1,000. The other ones that you're going to buy right now are, the Miele's are going to be $19.99. The Bosch's, if you can get them now, Bosch's. Bosch was closed in the month of either April or May last year, and they still haven't caught up. They want, 10 million units or whatever it was. They can only produce half of what they need. So that's a good alternative for panelizing. I wouldn't do a KitchenAid, obviously, because it sticks out. Although, I mean, if you want to go into your wall, and who would want to do that, 1.5 inches, you could flush mount it. But I would really look at that Beko at $1,000. I think it's a great, from a specification standpoint. It's been reliable, although we only had it for a year. It's one of the more reliable brands we have. And we publish all the reliability studies on the web. So, you hit most reliable dishwashers, you'll see what the numbers are, and you can decide for yourself.
Next up, can you butt together two 18-inch dishwashers? Do you need space in between them?
Well, you would need a space in between them. You would need to put the cabinet around. I mean, can you do it? Can you get it installed? I can ask our installation, but typically the way dishwashers, first of all, when we did the last seminar, I said, you can't mess this up. It's impossible, right? Because, when you look at things, the only thing that I showed you was that unique in any way on any size was that La Cornu Fe, which is 43 inches. Everything else is standard. It's 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. It's what it is, 12, right? It's all because those are standard cabinets. Now you're going to need a cabinet to put that dishwasher in. So I would say that. Now, can you circumvent that? I can always ask, but you would need something in between. Then especially, your kitchen designer is going to put in a cabinet there. So that's what you put your dishwasher in.
Next up, what's your opinion of the microwave and oven combination units, speed oven?
Are we talking about a microwave over a single oven or microwave speed units? All right, I'll answer the question both ways. As a one unit, you can do it. Thermador made, like, I think they just decided, they went to a focus group and decided, yeah, we're going to do everything they said. So you can get swing doors, regular doors. You can get big steam ovens, small steam ovens. You can get them attached, you can get them separate, right? Typically, when you separate them, you get them less expensive, typically. What I like is, I'd answer the question this way, is like, what are you going to use? Right? Everybody goes, the default to kitchens today, aside from white, stainless, and gray, and hopefully do something a little different, is double ovens. Just like, maybe it's because we show 30 double ovens, right? But really what you can do is say, okay, Thanksgiving only comes once a year. Easter only comes once a year. You know, whatever holidays you celebrate only come, maybe you got a maximum of 5 holidays that you can sit down and with your family, unless you do family time, right? Why not put a single oven and then put whatever you want, whether it's steam. I love steam ovens. Steam ovens is the way everybody should cook, right? Because you're adding moisture, you're not baking out flavor, right? So steam ovens are great. The best ones, I think, are the ones that you'll use easily. And that one is Miele. The Master Chef controls are like, what do you want to cook? How much does it weigh? Press this button. Easy. We do, one of our best things is steam seminars. I don't know when we're doing our next one. You should sign up for it because we do it on Wolf. You know, everyone's got them, right? Thermador, Genair, Bosch. But I think really the best cooking setup is the one you'll use. And single oven, steam or speed, warming drawer but and below. What you don't want to do is you don't want to mount 3 things in a row. Because there's a lot of things you see on the web that get touted. When it comes to ventilation, you see the tri-stack of double oven, wall oven on top. You do not want to be reaching for a burning hot thing over your head. So don't do that, but certainly personalize your cooking the way you'll use them. You'll use the products.
Circling back to earlier question, the follow-up, the 24-inch wall oven, they're focused on electric. So what's your best recommendation for a 24-inch electric wall oven?
Well, the best wall oven that you can get, we have it on display. It's the Gaggenau. It's beautiful. You know, it's different. You know, the Europeans, all those European ovens, I think Bosch has one. Who else has it? God, I think I would know that being in the city. There's all kinds of European ovens that make good electric 24s. We have a couple on display, Miele and I think a Bosch. But yeah, Miele is the other one. Jeez, there we go. Senior mom. Miele is good and Gaggenau is great. I think Bosch has got a few and some other brands have some decent lower price stuff. But Gaggenau Miele own that as far as style, functionality, looks, aesthetics. You know, I love the Gaggenau, although you need like a treasure hunter to help you because they got the most modes. You just got to figure it out, right? There's like 12 different modes that, you know, someone who really cooks, like our chef uses all the modes to do proofing or convection, you know, convection broil versus straight convection versus convection bake. They do the best job of, if you like to cook certain types of X pastry and certain types of pastry, they're probably the best at actually doing that.
Cool. Next up, does Beko have a fully integrated panel-ready refrigerator?
Not yet. Not yet. Or not that we sell yet. I'm sure that they will, but they haven't.
Next up, what are the problems with drawer microwaves? And can you suggest a reliable drawer microwave that is unlikely to be subject to that problem?
You know what's really funny is, you know, we put this webinar on, it takes the 3 of us like, you know, 2 weeks to put the right slides in and everything else. And we do these videos, these complicated videos explaining things. And really, the one that gets the most hit is the microwave drawer. I have a microwave drawer. And here's the funny thing. It doesn't matter what brand you have, it all made by Sharp. It's really what you do with the microwave drawer is typically you go to like a Genair or Thermador or whatever, and you buy the microwave drawer that they're giving you for free, which is a Sharp. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't put one in my kitchen with a 4-year-old if it spiked and burned and everything else. I think they have to be installed right. Now, there's different classes of Sharp microwave. The one that we showed in the presentation is like older. There's new ones out. I think they're having a new convection microwave drawer. There's Wi-Fi microwave drawers. I think there's now remote controls. But essentially, the microwave drawer works. I mean, you know, I go over these reliability ratings because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to sell something that'll burn someone's kitchen down, obviously. But we're just not seeing that kind of problems that you see. And the one problem you have on the internet is, I always say, you take the thing you love the most and you Google it, and there's all kinds of people that are haters, and you don't find a lot of good on the internet. I think these things have to be installed properly. And what really upsets people, I know we have a lot of people from California and New York on the call. It's not that the breakdowns that matter, it's the lack of support when they happen. And really we can make your kitchen unique. I can show you how to plan your kitchen from a blank slate. I can tell you how to put orange in a kitchen, where to do it, different accents. But really, the troublesome part, the real troublesome part in this industry is the delivery side, the install side, and especially the service side. And what you're seeing is a lot of people that are just mad because we'll be out there in 4 to 8 weeks. It's just not good enough, And that experience is just replete in this industry. You expect, your car dealer, it's like everyone, when I buy a new car, they usher me through the service department. Nobody does that when they're buying, you're buying, a lot of people buying $20,000 to $40,000 worth of appliances. And that's a question you really need to ask. And, I understand most dealers don't have service because it is a marketing loss, but you should find the agencies that are competent enough to handle some of these products. Because, people ask them what's better, Wolf, Miele, Genair, Thermador, but really the answer to that question is, which one's going to come out your house the fastest? So, roundabout answer.
I think that's a great place to call it a day there. We made it through all the Q&A. If any questions come up, please shoot them over to us. help@yellowappliance.com is a great email address to get a hold of us. We will be sending out a recording of this and the presentation, so you can have a copy of that. And that's it for me. Steve, any final words?
No, listen, be bold, but not too bold, or be very bold. But hopefully you had some good ideas. You can reach us at help@yellowappliance. And if we've inspired you to do something different, maybe not to Drake's level, we'd certainly love to see that we made an impact. So once again, thank you very much for sharing your morning with us.
Thanks.